Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Monday, September 29th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Pod recap, not the podcast, the recap. I am your host, Jeremy Pierce. Welcome one and all. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. And without further ado, let's get into the news. The WWE are shocked and upset after their broadcast partner ESPN gave WrestlePalooza a C rating. The journalist goes by the name of Andreas Hale, who was a long time wrestling fan, sticks by his review, saying the only really truly good match was Stephanie Ricciera versus Io Sky. It saved the show, and the WWE's like, well, we believe that WrestlePalooza was just as good as all of our other shows this year, and that's your problem. You think your other shows this year have been good. WrestlePalooza was a C. AAA is expected to match the basic NXT salaries after their WWE acquisition. We'll get into those basic salaries a little bit later, but this is just good news, more money for the wrestlers. Is some great news. Both Mickie James and the original tag team of the Beautiful People will be inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame at Bound for Glory. This is much well-deserved, well-received by Mickie and both by Angelina Love and Velvet Sky. They were a big part of the TNA Knockouts division and the growth and success that they have had. Some upsetting news has come out from Masha Slamovich's ex-boyfriend Akira that she's been accused of domestic assault. But if you actually read the text and just examine the relationship, it was a really bad relationship on both parts. They were abusive to each other. She has been pulled from future events for TNA. We'll see what happens as there's an investigation going down. Prosecutors are double down in an effort to keep Liv Morgan's alleged stalker behind bars ahead of his November trial. He will not be getting out. This is all good news. Jasmine Nix is parting ways with the WWE. She was shown on NXT laid out, so she was essentially kicked out of Fatal Influence. But the reason she is leaving the WWE is because of the contract they were offering her. So they're offering her a new contract, and here's the thing: the base salary contract for NXT is $75,000. Then you take into account taxes, traveling, gear, health insurance, you're probably making around $60,000 a year. And she's leaving because even though they offered a new contract, they offer her the same base contract with no incentives, with no pay raises, and that's why she is leaving. She also said she turned down many an opportunity, an offer she was, expecting to get. And if a former soccer player in a Division II league says the contract you're offering is not enough, then that's a problem. Gail Kim is in the news for some weird reason. She said something about Riho, how she's being infantilized, and she's too small, so her offense isn't believable. But then she goes to points to like Io and Asuka, who are also small, but their offense is believable. And Kenny Omega got involved, and then someone wanted to come out and say that Gail tried to get an AEW, and she said that's not true. That's not the whole story. It's just a weird situation. Watch AEW Dynamite. You should be watching AEW Dynamite. Tony Khan and Renee Paquette introduced the AEW Women's World Tag Team Championship. They look just like the men's. That's all well and good. That's all fine, but it's been a long time coming for the division that has been killing it all year long. AJ Styles has announced that 2026 will probably be his last year of professional wrestling, as it will be leading up to WrestleMania 42. He is getting that match against John Cena at Crown Jewel in 2 weeks. Io Sky announced we are getting a dream match for Marigold. She will be taking on Mayu Iwatani. Oh my God. That is amazing news. Io Sky's the best woman wrestler on the planet right now. I'm sorry. It's like her and Bandito and Takeshita and Mystico. She's definitely the best women's wrestler on the planet right now. It's crazy. We're about to get her versus Mayu Iwatani. Inject that into my veins. October 7th, we will be having an NXT versus AEW showdown once again. As you know, when baseball goes into the playoffs, MLB, Dynamite usually gets moved to either a Tuesday or a Thursday, and when they get moved to Tuesday, they have Title Tuesday, so they will be having the Title Tuesday show. And funny thing is, NXT announced that that's when they'll be doing their Invasion show with them versus TNA. They'll have two traditional Survivor Series matchups. I think even a War Games match. We'll see what happens there. But the Invasion sign looks just like the OG one from those many years ago. Idris Enough has announced his WWE exit. He is gone from a company he never really got off to a great start in NXT. On the injury side of things, Ridge Holland got injured at the NXT at the TNA taping, so he will be out. Looks like he's having a knee injury. Adriana Rizzo has revealed her return from her ACL and meniscus tear. She should be back in maybe about the end of the year. We'll see what happens. She's been out for about a few months now, so it'll come up to the usually 1 year time frame. And some just horrible news. Hologram is hurt and he's out for the rest of the year. And the crazy part is El Clone, who he's starting a feud with, is also hurt, and he will be out for the rest of the year. Katsuri Shibata is not medically cleared, and he is medically suspended after performing at All Out, so he will be out. We will see what happens with the Trios Championships. Those titles are cursed. Jade Cargill is clearly hurt after she got split open on SmackDown. It is crazy. Go on her Twitter and look at that cut above her head. And some really just sad and shocking news. Ashley Elegance had to vacate the TNA Knockouts Championship, and we don't know why. If it was a pregnancy, she would have said it was a pregnancy, because everybody always announces pregnancy. But it sounds like this might be a career-ending injury. We don't know what it is. She was fighting back tears, so we will just have to wait and see what happens with her as we get more news about whatever it is going on with her. But that's the news, and we should be right back with the weekend review. All right, you know how we do. Let's get into the week in review. You know, we start off, of course, every week with Monday Night Raw. This was the WrestlePalooza Fallout show. We open up with, seeing the rivals coming into the building, Division, Stephanie Vaquera, Bayley, LA Knight. And Knight sees Rusev berating Dom and just keeps it pushing. Cody comes out and he's talking about the Crown Jewel Championship ring thingamabob that him and Seth are going to fight over because it's whatever. Crown Jewel is going on in Perth this year. Seth interrupts with the Vision, and Cody and Seth have a nice little promo exchange about the respect and the past history they have and everything about the leadership of who's leading this company. But ultimately, Cody reminds Seth that you have not beaten me. And that gives Seth something to think about. We're back with the Usos, and Jimmy tells Jay that he got him a rematch. And Jay says Pierce already booked them versus Knight, and there's tension between Jimmy and Jay. I am loving this slow burn on Jay Uso, becoming more and more like the tribal chief. Our first match of the evening, finally, because Raw has to start with talking every single week. We had a no DQ 6-man tag match, as it was the New Day and Grayson taking on Penta, the Viking Raiders, and this was a fun, chaotic match. Just reminds you of just how good the New Day are, and actually how good Grayson Waller is. He is really, really underrated. But ultimately, Penta and the Viking Raiders won after Penta gave a Waller Mexican Destroyer off of the top rope. Backstage, we had the Judgment Day and Domax, Finn and JD for Becker versus Rusev. And JD ultimately agrees because Finn's like, dog, I'm done. You've been lying to us. You won't give us any information. It is what it is. Bayley convinces Lara Valkyrie to be in her corner for her match later in the evening. Stephanie cares in the ring, and we're celebrating her championship win. And she thanks the fans. She praises her dad. She vows to win at Crown Jewel. She will face the winner of the women's triple threat match going on SmackDown. Backstage, she's congratulated by Nikki Bella and Rhea. Asuka confronts her. Kairi's trying to like back Asuka off, and Ripley challenges Asuka to a match, and the match is made for later in the evening. It will be our main event. It's crazy how you can go into a show without having a main event plan that doesn't make any sense to me. Bayley ended up facing Roxanne Perez, and she ultimately got the win after she snapped. Kind of did her split personality thing, hit the rose plant for the win. After the match, Lyra was trying to celebrate with Bayley, but Bayley shoved her and told her to stay away from her. Jimmy asked Cody to talk to Jay, and later Cody goes to talk to Jay. He's like, listen, you my boy, we brothers, we were tag team champions together. I got your back. You can always talk to me. Jay just continues to remain distant. Our third match of the evening was JD McDonough getting absolutely dominated by Rusev, who won with the accolade, and Dom does not help, but Finn ultimately helped his boy because Dom is a little bitch. Backstage, Io warned Asuka to, not to face Rhea. We can just be friends, and Asuka ignores her. Io and Kairi have this awkward exchange. Kairi! Anyway, LA Knight blames Jay for shoving him into the danger of the prior tag match. We end up having that match of LA Knight versus Jay Uso, and Jay attacked early. We had a nice little back and forth affair. The Vision showed up until Jay ultimately won with a spear and a frog splash. They just do not have any faith in LA Knight. Jimmy urges Jay to unite after the match, and Jay just walks off. What is going on with Jay? Backstage, Seth is in deep contemplation, and Becky's just ranting and raving about what Cody said. She's gonna make things right. Rhea and Io are backstage, and Rhea warns Io about Asuka, and Io defense guys saying, listen, me and Kairi, a lot of us would not be here without her. She may be going crazy right now, but she is Asuka. We got a vignette for Los Americanos because now there's 3 of them things, and they are a faction now. Maxine Dupree asks Adam Pearce for some chances, and he will be giving them to her. Styles and Dragon Lee demand a match versus Los Americanos, which is get booked for next week. And the main event, Rhea Ripley versus Asuka, in a fantastic match. It was competitive back and forth. Kairi tried interfering, but it ultimately caused Asuka. Rhea won with a roll up. Asuka ends up missing Rhea really hard. Orders Kairi to attack. Kairi attacks. Io tries to make the save, and Asuka ultimately turns on her. She gets with an insane elbow, and Asuka stands tall with a reluctant Kairi. Saying over on Dynamite, this was the all-out fall-out show. The show gets a thumbs up for a couple reasons. We had a backstage promo with Hangman. We were in Pittsburgh since he wants to face the best that Pittsburgh has to offer. He praised Kyle Fletcher for the match and warned him not to disappoint in the future, and he will be facing tonight Lee Moriarty. We had a World Tag Team Championship match as Brodito were defending against the Gates of Agony. Ricochet was on commentary. He actually ended up getting thrown backstage because he interfered, and ultimately Brodito won. But this was the best the Gates of Agony have looked in a very long time, including starting their feud with the Hurt Syndicate. Backstage in Conglomeration, say that 5 times fast, refused to reveal the partner, but aren't you glad that he's back? And Kyle put on some sunglasses and said, Jane, where's my mind? Renee Paquette interviewed Chris Statlander. She acknowledged being banged up, but she's ready to defend the championship, and she will be defending against Mina Shirakawa. Harley interrupted, acting, like Harley Cameron. Renee asked Chris about the Death Riders, and Stat just gave a very vague response. Hangman Adam Page versus Lee Moriarty was a really solid match. This was for the AEW World Championship. Brian Danielson was on commentary just singing the praises of Lee Moriarty because he really does like Lee Moriarty a lot. But ultimately, Hangman won with the dead eye because he could not really do anything to get out of the submission holds of Lee Moriarty. Backstage, we were with Cope and Christian, and Cope's like, listen, I can't really do this. My family keeps getting involved and they keep getting hurt. Christian's like, do you think I got no family? We'll figure out what happened. And Cope's like, nah. You got family. I'm essentially Cope's leaving to go film season 3 of Percy Jackson. In the ring, FTR and Stokely blame Beth and Cope and Christian for what happened. Cash said the goal is to retire Adam and Christian, but she should have never got involved. Dash refused to apologize. Willow came out, and as she defended Beth as an inspiration and demanded apology. Stokely mocked her, told her to go home and watch the Proud Family, so she slapped him. And just before, as she was about to get beat down, Speedball and Kevin Knight made the save, and they ended up brawling with FTR. So that's the next feud between these two. Just Speed and Willow stood tall as FTR retreated. Backstage, MJF was sitting on stairs. This was after his match at All Out, and he's going to leave, and he's going to come back and be the most dangerous version of himself, and he's going to get his Triple B back, and I believe it. Entering the Don Callis family, Don was revealing his new masterpiece, his paintings, and he rolled it to the ring. They messed up on the lighting a little bit, but when they removed the curtain from the painting, it was revealed to be Orange Cassidy, and the Conglomeration is back, baby. We ended up going right into Orange Cassidy, Mark Briscoe, and Halligan versus the Don Callis family. Ultimately, the Conglomeration won. This was a fun, fast-paced match. It is great to have freshly squeezed back. After the match, Kyle Fletcher made a challenge to Hologram, saying, hey, listen, you that bull right now. Listen, you 34-0, you got the longest winning streak in AEW right now. I'll put my title on the line. I'll see you on Collision. Mina Shikawa says she will stand in for Toni Storm and get her championship back for her friend. She's taking on Chris Statlander later in the evening. We got a vignette of Jack Perry and Luchasaurus, and Jurassic Express will be coming back. We had Claudio Castagnoli versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Hobbs jumped Claudio at the bell. Fight spilled to the outside, but ultimately, after the Pac distraction, Claudio got the win. Samoa Joe chased Pac off, and Hobbs clothesline Claudio outside of the ring. Yuta and Garcia ended up attacking Hobbs, so Hangman made the save, and Joe and Hangman stood tall. Tony Khan made an awesome announcement as AEW will finally be getting their women's tag team championships. We didn't get a date. We don't know when the match is going to happen. We don't know if the champions will be crowned. And he had Renee Paquette reveal the belts, and they are just beautiful. This led into our main event match with Chris Statlander defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Mina Shirakawa. This was a really solid match. Mina targeted Stat's knees and used the steps and figure four to her advantage, but ultimately Stat fought back, survived a couple near falls, and once again won with the seat belt pin. After the match, Harley joined her in the ring. The Death Riders all came out. Yuta went to hug Stat. She turned on him, clothesline Yuta, flipped off Mox, who was smiling, and left with Harley. Darby then came out with a flamethrower and confronted Mox and the rest of the group and was going to burn them, and he got what he wanted, which is a I Quit match at Wrestle Dream. Over on TNA, this was the Victory Road Go Home show. The show gets a fist. I should tell you the Victory Road results afterwards as well. Okay. The Rascals took on Cedric Alexander and Leon Slater in a tag team match. It was early back and forth with the Rascals, ultimately trying to do the bus. Cedric and Leon Slater won after Slater hit a 450 splash on Miguel. Post-match was a stare-down between Slater and Maria as they will be facing each other for the X Division Championship. G Miller was backstage to interview Frankie Kazarian and Jake Something. Frankie teased the title ambitions and moved over and mocked Mr. Anderson. We had a clip airing of the TNA Wrestlers of NXT from this past week. Eric Young confronted Santino and confirmed his match versus Joe Hendry at Victory Road. Jody Threat versus Victoria Crawford ended with Victoria Crawford getting the win after Tessa Blanchard returned and distracted Jody Threat. Joe Hendry was backstage, and he promised to expose Eric Young at Victory Road. The System had a promo. They set up their Hardcore War match versus Order 4 at Bound for Glory, and Ali accepted Moose's challenge. We had the Collier Shot Gauntlet Battle Royal qualifying match. So essentially, when it comes down to the last two people, whoever gets eliminated is the number 1 entrant. Whoever wins is the number 20 entrant. We had In this match, we had AJ Francis insulting the women, and he was the first eliminated. He got eliminated by Rosemary. Killer Kelly was eliminated by Lei Ying Lee. Ryan Nemeth was eliminated by Matt Cardona, and the Homicide Man. The final two were Lei Ying Lee and Mance Warner. Mance Warner ultimately won, meaning Mance is number 20 and Lei Ying Lee is number 1. We got our injury report highlighting Moose, Santana, and Mr. Anderson. Mickie James and the Beautiful People, like we discussed, were announced for the Hall of Fame. We had the final negotiation between the Hardys and Team 3D. Fans were chanting for TLC. Essentially, it was just a contract signing, and they all shook hands. We had an order for a promo. They confronted the system. Ali accepted Moose's challenge, establishing their stakes for Bound for Glory. Our main event match was Steve Maclin and Mr. Anderson versus Kazarian and Jake Sumter. Ultimately, Maclin and Anderson won. This was Anderson's first match back in 9 years. He got the win with the mic check after the match. This was just good. It was just a good, fun return. On the Victory Road results, on the countdown, Zach Wentz defeated Cedric Alexander and Trey Miguel. That was the only match we had on the countdown show. And then on the main Victory Road show, the System defeated Order 4 in a 6-man tag match. Kelani Jordynne won a qualifying battle royal to face for the Knockouts Championship, because Ash Pelicans had to relinquish the title. Matt Cardona and the Hometown Man defeated the Nemeths. Mike Santana defeated Ridge Holland. Mustafa Ali defeated Moose. Joe Hendry beat Eric Young. Matt Hardy defeated AJ Francis. Kelani Jordynne defeated Lei Ying Lee to become the new Knockouts champion. Frankie Kazarian defeated Steve Maclin to become the new international champion. In the main event, in a fantastic match, Leon Slater defeated Myron Reed to retain the X Division championship. So that was good stuff right there. Over on SmackDown, this was the WrestlePalooza Fallout show. This show gets a thumbs down for an obvious reason. We had Paul Heyman in the ring, who teased Seth and the rest of the Vision and Brock Lesnar, and talking about all these rumors. Cody came out and said, listen, who am I talking to? Am I talking to an advocate? Am I talking to a wise man? Am I talking to an oracle? And he was like, you talking to the GOAT, my G. All right, remember that. Ultimately, the Vision came out and attacked Cody, and Randy Orton made the save. Backstage, the Street Profits. Well, listen, families fight, but we always get back together. Yes, there's tension, but we are a team and we are united. They ended up taking on Mello, Don't Miz, in the number one contenders tag team match, and this was a really good match. And Mello had the match won, but Miz wanted to steal the victory like he's been doing. Mello was like, nah. Well, Miz got hit from the heavens, and Mello did not bring up the pin. There it is. Looks like Mello really don't Miz. You know what I mean? Jade Cargill had a promo backstage planning to win the WWE Women's Championship. Then we had Misha and B-Fab taking on Julia and Kiana James. This was a fine match. Julia finally is getting stuff to do on TV, and Misha and B-Fab are becoming a really solid team. Ultimately, Julia and Kiana James won backstage. Charlotte and Alexa were confronted by Zaruka, and Zarya is not with the bullshit with Charlotte and is calling her out and right to her face, and they say they are coming for the tag team championship. Drew McIntyre made his entrance, and he blamed the referee because the referee should not have got involved in the match, and he should be champion. He wants Nick Aldis to fix it. Nick Aldis like, nah. Jacob Fatu came out, had some words, yeah, I mean, and that's our next feud. Tiffany Stratton is prepping for her match, for the title match, and Stephanie Victoria, teasing their crown jewel match. Sami Zayn was backstage with Rey Fenix, and open challenge was issued, where Sol Sikoa praised Jason Mateo. Sami Zayn's challenge was answered by none other than Javon Evans, the young OG from NXT, and a really fun match, and they're continuously elevating Javon Evans. Chelsea Green, Alba Fire offered Nia Jax a Slagent position. Nia refused. As you know, Piper Niven is out. We don't know for how long, so she's looking to re-up and refill the secret harvest. Damian Priest was once again attacked by Aleister Black. Lex is getting the better of him. The main event match was Tiffany Stratton defending the Women's Championship against Jade Cargill and Nia Jax, and it started out fine and then completely went to shit. Botches, ref messing up, missing the count. It was bad. The Jade getting split open. Tiffany won, but geez, this match was horrible. Stephanie Figueroa came out to confront Tiffany after the match, and that's our Crown Jewel Championship match over on Collision. This was the all-out fallout show. This show gets the fist. The Death Riders are backstage with Dan Garcia, the Paragon, and cut promos. Julia Hart, Scott Blue cut promos because they all got matches. And Kyle Fletcher attacked Hologram. Tony Schiavone and Nigel Grinnell opened the show, ran down the matches for the day. And our first match of the evening was the Death Riders, Garcia, Mox, and Claudio taking on Roderick Strong. Roderick Strong, what's his name? Kyle O'Reilly and Hologram. Jeez, I don't know why I could get that off my tongue. Ultimately, the Death Riders won in a fun match, but it was not Hologram. Matt Menard. Matt wants to know what's going on with Danny backstage. Brody King addressed the Don Callis. Like, you want to take us out? Well, come and get it. Kenny Omega will be making his return on Dynamite this coming Wednesday. The Death Riders were shown attacking Hobbs from Dynamite and Heyman making the rescue. Wheeler and Marina Shafir won a squash match over Rachel Ellering and Rosario Grillo. I need more from Rochelle. This is to set up their mixed tag team match against Darby and Chris this coming Wednesday. Darby, we show the angle of Darby challenging Mox to the I Quit match. Hangman joined Hobbs and Joe, and they're going to deal with the Death Riders. The Acclaim, they were not come out to the Acclaim, they came out separately. Ended up beating the Swirl. I actually wanted the Swirl to win this match just to show the dissension between Bowens and Caster. This was a really fun match. Jerry Lynn tried to unite them for some scissoring, but Bowens walked out. Mother Wayne, Kip Sabian, and Nick Wayne were cutting a promo on Christian. We got a recap of Tony Khan announcing the tag team championship. Alexi Nair interviewed probably the prohibitive favorites to win the championships with their TJ, and they declared that they'll be the first champions. Dalton Castle and the Outrunners teamed up for the first time, winning a squash match. This is a fun grouping of guys. Mark Briscoe cut a promo on MJF and shifted his focus to the Conglomeration because we back, baby. Kyle Fletcher versus Commander for the TNT championship, with Kyle Fletcher ultimately winning the match. Commander stepped in for Holograms. We found out Hologram was hurt. So there you go. So Hologram is still undefeated. Look at that. Fletcher vowed a long-range challenge anyone on Wednesday to come and face him. And, well, his challenge was accepted by none other than freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. Eddie Kingston and Hook defeated Big Bill and Brian Keith. It was much better than the all-out match. Backstage, Juice and Austin Gunn were like, well, Jay's hurt. Colton's hurt. We need some more backup for the Bang Bang Gang. Who better than came and joined them? Ace Austin, another member of Bullet Club. So there we go. I always thought he was going to join the Bang Bang Gang, seeing as how Jay White was out in the main event. Jamie Hayter versus Julia Hart. Jamie Hayter won. I would like for Sky and Julia to start getting some W's, man. You know what I mean? But Jamie won. This was a fun match. After the match, the rest of the Triangle Madness and Double Tag here, Queen Aminata made the save, and Jamie's like, you know what, I'm done with all of this. I got 3 words for you: blood and guts. We don't know when that match is coming, but it's about damn time. Our matches of the week from Raw: Penta and the War Raiders versus the New Day. Grayson Waller in that no DQ match. Also, Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. From Dynamite, the Conglomeration versus the Don Callis family. From Smackdown, Sami Zayn versus Javon Evans for the United States Championship. From Victory Road, probably the best match of the entire weekend, Leon Slater versus Myron Reed for the X Division Championship. From No Mercy, Jordynne Grace versus Blake Monroe in a weaponized street steel cage match. And from New Japan Destruction in Kobe, Gabe Kidd versus Shingo Takagi for the IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. Our star of the week, Kelani Jordan, as she's your new Knockouts champion. Ricky Saints, as he is your new NXT champion. And the AEW Women's Division for getting 2 major announcements: the World Tag Team Championships coming in, and the Blood and Guts match. But that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Check out the socials: Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course, Monroe215 on Twitter. I'll see you when I see you. Peace.